Y'all in the winning circle, shot some squares though. You in the killing fields, ignoring the scarecrows. Yeah, ho, I'm Benny Blanco in the last scene, making the power play high off for caffeine. This is a tag team, fantasy the bad dream. The male version of Kerry killing the class queen. Bati bloggers quit dodging my emails. Take that whack shit off, the real prevail.
Welcome to Free Lunch Podcast, home of the New South Movement and the New South Movement Network. This is your boy Tight, one half of the Free Lunch Podcast duo. BG, do I need to change this intro?
What you gonna change it to?
I don't know. I'm so used to saying it, man. That's what I do.
I mean, it's always good to reinvent yourself. So if you feel like you need to do something new, change that thing up.
Major key alert. Can I change it to a major?
I wouldn't recommend using somebody else's stuff though. Keep it original. Keep it original.
This podcast alert. Podcast alert. Cloth talk. Don't do it.
We gotta work on this, bro. We need to practice.
How you doing today, sir?
Ain't everything good, man? It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. What's happening with you?
Man, it's football season, man. And
ain't it, man? Ain't it?
Oh,
man.
my
Football is back finally.
Man, I was sitting here talking earlier just about how much the game of football has changed my life personally. Just looking over the life lessons, the characteristics, the traits that I developed from the game of football. So just to be able to watch preseason, man, it really something about the game of football.
It's a beautiful thing, man, and you and I share that same sentiment. It's like football is definitely life, as far as the preparation that goes into getting ready for the season, overcoming each play, taking the good plays, doing away with the bad plays, and staying competitive at all times. So it's a lot of life that goes on in that game, and it's fun to watch more than anything else. Fun to play. I say fun to play, but once you get to a certain age, it's better to watch.
And I keep trying to tell these people, this D1 Sports Talk podcast, I'm telling you, it's about to crank up, BG. Folks better get on this D1 Sports Talk podcast because it's been an off season. We've been finding time and finding things to talk about, but now with football season cranking up, man, I'm telling you, that D1 Sports Talk about to be on and popping.
About to heat up. It's an entertaining show, man. Y'all do a great thing over there with D1. I get a chance to listen to it every week, and each week it gets more and more entertaining. You got a funny dynamic, different guests that come on each week, man. So yeah, I expect it to be really lit up as we get into this football season, man. It's exciting time.
And I can't wait because the first question out the box, BG, with our guest that we have today, I already got a question out the box that we gonna touch on in regards to the Last Chance U. You gonna watch Last Chance U? I don't watch Last Chance U. And this individual, this guest that we have today, he may have some insight on one of the protagonists. I'm gonna use that word, the protagonist.
Yeah.
He may have some insight on one of the protagonists of Last Chance U, on where he stands with joining their football team. So that's gonna be my first question out the gate.
Man, that Last Chance U is crazy, boy. That's wild what they got going on at East Mississippi. Man, I knew it was an underlayer to the game of football, college football. But bro, I ain't know it was like that, dog. That shit.
Hey, that's just straight game. That's a straight game down there. They down there fighting in every game.
Man, wow. Coaches in there, players, referees.
And then you got the lion guy.
It's They got one with that. They
got one.
They picked the right time and the right place to shoot a series.
But we talking about football. We got to get. And BG, I'm sure you already knew this, but our guests don't know this. But I can't really wait to get into this conversation, especially considering we talking to Kappa Delta, KD.
Yes, we are.
We talking to KD. KD didn't even realize he was talking to SD. Sigma Delta, and with us being able to talk to KD today, one of my great friends, really like a brother to me, gave me some questions to ask that I'll be popping in and out during this interview. But we got the opportunity to talk to a great KD bruh, a man that loves the University of Alabama, Birmingham. We know it as UAB. Really has a story to tell. One that started in 2006. 2006 was a tough year for our guest, and I think based off of his experiences from 2006 and what he's gone through, he can be an inspiration and a motivation to all of us. And as I mentioned, definitely a member of Kappa Delta. He is from the chapter of Kappa Delta for Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Rude to the bros. And so, BG, add to that intro, because I don't know if I did it justice. What else you want to add?
I think the justice is gonna come once we get into the story and he has an opportunity to tell it. But just kind of from a overview perspective, it is a story, man, that touches on a lot of levels. One of the things that we hang our hats on is perseverance and tenacity and a lot of faith. And this story includes that. So, in his work that he's doing and telling his life story, giving his testimony, he is definitely inspiring people. And I feel, pretty confident that people that listen to this podcast are going to have a whole nother perspective on their daily life and their purpose while they're here on this planet, man. So I think we should just go ahead and get to it.
And I like to, we about to bring out our guest, but special shout out to Ms. Moore. Because actually she's the one that introduced me to this story. And for our guest today, Mr. Timothy Alexander, he actually had an opportunity. I don't know if you spoke during SEC Media Day. You can tell us more about that. But the person that we're talking about is Timothy Alexander, motivational speaker, consultant, minister, UAB coach, UAB character excellence coach, and he who hears, let them hear. So this is definitely Kappa Delta's own brother of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Timothy Alexander. How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm doing good, man. I like this show. Y'all got me over here laughing, man. It's good, man. So thank y'all so much for having me here, man. It's an honor.
Oh man, we glad to have you. You out on that field though. When I was going through my research, I'm wondering if he still is engaged with the UAB Blazers when football season rolls around. And I think you answered that. I think you answered that question with the email today saying that we in fall camp right now. So how everything looking in Birmingham with the Blazers?
BG, he the character excellence coach. He is for UAB.
Man, it's going real good, man. We in day 4 right now. I mean, we got 40 new guys out here, man. So day one, it was a little up and down, but it was a day 1 practice. Anytime you put 40 new guys and you say, all right, I want y'all to come play together now. It's guys that out here on the field right now, man, that they got in Sunday night. They out here with us on Monday morning. So it's been ups and downs, and today in character excellence, we talking about the mental mindset of just letting everything go off your mind and just relaxing your mind, relaxing your body, and just go out there and ball. And I mean, it's going good, man. I'm actually right now, when I got on, I'm on the field right now, just looking at the field, and ain't nobody out here but just me and all the props. So it's good, man. It's just good to still, to sit back and just enjoy the fruits of our labor, man, and just to see what UAB is doing, and it's very exciting.
You were very instrumental in reinstating football at UAB. I saw you speak at the city council. I've seen you do a number of interviews talking about what UAB means to you, even with the slogan, I am UAB. With this being the first 4 days of the reinstatement of football at UAB, what has that been like?
I mean, man, it's, with the whole reinstatement process, we went through a lot of ups and downs. us as students here at UAB, we know we didn't really have the funds. We didn't have everything to bring back this program, but we knew that UAB is big on family, so we was able to build relationships with the alumni. You mean, it was students, man. One of my favorite stories, I never forget this. I'm sitting out in front of the administration building just waving I took a UAB flag out of a fan's hand and just start waving that thing, just displaying my passion. And he said, Tim, one of the reasons why we're here is because of the UAB, the Board of Trustees doesn't believe in the students at UAB. We need more students here. I said, well, give me that flag, man. I'll be right back. So I got some of the cheerleaders and about two of the guys to walk with me. Got in the middle of traffic. The light was green. We started holding up traffic. We marched to the school, went inside some of the buildings, knocked on the door, and I never forget going there. I was nervous, but I said, I got to do this for the school. Went inside of a classroom and said, Professor, I don't mean to be rude, but we fighting for football, bowling, and rifle, and we need these kids. Please let these kids out of their classroom. And the professors did it, and, man, we started going to different buildings, just fighting for our school, and we marched up and down University Boulevard. So it just showed, what can happen when unity comes in place. And so we had that meeting, and after it was done, we put together a committee called FUSO. I am UAB Football, Bowling, and Rifle. And FUSO stands for Free UAB Student Organization. And that's an organization that me and two of my friends put together. And we just started going for it. And then I went on a city council tour. Out of about the 65 cities here in Birmingham, I was able to go to 55 of them and receive proclamations on behalf of football, bowling, and rifle. And we raised money. We've raised over $40 million in 1 year. Now we got new facilities getting ready to come. We break ground on that on August 29th. So it's been a lot of ups and downs, but it showed me that the voice that the student has. And one thing I always talk about is history is in the hands of the student. That goes back with history when Martin Luther King, when Malcolm X, when all of these guys was marching, they always kept young people around them because young people is the next generation. And I feel like if you don't take a stand for something, you won't take a stand for nothing. And so I just wanted to stand up for what's right because UAB football gave me an opportunity to beat Timothy Alexander, the coaches. I got to this university, I couldn't really walk, I couldn't really twist, and they gave me an opportunity, and I was able to go to therapy free because I was on the football team, and that became my practice each and every day. So it meant a lot to me when they ended the program. I'm like, man, this is wrong, and I'm going to fight for what's right, and that's why we was able to just fight, and in 6 months we brought back football, bowling, and rifle.
You can hear the heat. That is the cues for sure, but that's just the surface level of this story, and,
right.
And for our listeners, y'all going to really understand what this is all about as we go through this timeline of what Tim has been through, his experiences, and what he's endured and persevered over.
I mentioned 2006 was a very instrumental year in your life. A few things that happened: a house fire, lost your brother, car accident. Can you kind of explain to our audience who don't know your story? Can you take us to 2006 and really a transformational year for you personally? Can you share that story with our audience, please?
So 2006 was a breaking point for Timothy Alexander, man. I mean, here I am, ranked number 8 in the state in football, with a free ride to go anywhere and play. I lost my house burned down. My brother, which was my hero, ran into this burning house, saved my life. Next week later, my brother's telling me, Tim, I want you to make it to the NFL and do something positive for the family, do something for yourself, come back and retire mom. My mom was a single-parent mom of 3. And the next day after me and my brother had that conversation, my brother died in a car wreck coming back to school. So 2006 was a very rough year for me because here I am like, okay, I'm finna do a lot of great things for my family. But I lose a brother. Then I lose who I am as a person. I'm hurt because that was my middle brother who I was very close to. I'm doing this thing for football, for the community. So it's like, okay, now I really got to put everything on my back. And because I lost my brother, I became a troubled teen because I was upset. That was my man. So I started getting in trouble. I started getting with the wrong crowd. became a juvenile delinquent just because I'm just so out of anger. But I was still a great student. I loved the game. My coach kind of bought into me and said, you know, Tim, just use what you have as your story and just come out and make a name for yourself. And October 28th, 2006, my friend fell asleep behind the wheel, and there was a 2-year-old baby in my arms. And when my friend fell asleep behind the wheel, we ran head first into a telephone pole. And as the car was rocking off the side of the cliff, his 2-year-old baby in my arms crying his lungs out, I punched the window out and took this 2-year-old baby and threw this 2-year-old baby out the window. And immediately when that happened, the car went off the cliff. I was threw around in the car, and I became paralyzed instantly from the waist down. And I never forget, when we got to the bottom of the cliff, my friend said, is everybody okay? I said, no, everybody's not okay. I can't feel my legs. I'm coughing up blood. Save me. I don't want to die. The car catches on fire from the rumble and the tumble, and my friend panics and goes to pull me through the rear window. And when he pulled me through the rear window, he slipped and dropped my neck off the trunk and snapped my neck, and then I became paralyzed instantly from the neck down. And so just going through from one day being the man that you know you're going to college, you know you're going to the NFL, and now you paralyzed from the neck down and the neck brace, and people coming up to you saying, blink your eyes if you can hear me, squeeze my thumb if you can hear me. You know, it was playing a lot of tricks on my mind. Of course, I had to stay calm, but it was so much going through my mind because I started losing memory. I didn't know who my mom was. I didn't know who anybody was because I was a TBI, which is a traumatic brain injury from my head being threw around in the car. So 2006 was a year for me. It happened my first semester, my senior year. And so I didn't even really get to finish my senior year because of my bad car wreck. But thank God today I'm able to say, you know what, 10 years ago, my life changed. But ironically, my life changed for the better.
You were a senior in high school. You were attending Irwin High School in Birmingham, played wide receiver, tight end position. Was recruited by a number of schools, as you mentioned, the number 8 recruit. Going into your senior year, and actually, I'm gonna say something else. BG was on his way to the Magic City Classic between Alabama State, Alabama A&M. When that happened, and that's just adding some perspective. But talk about being recruited at a young age. Who was recruiting you in high school? Obviously, UAB. Some of the other schools, and what position were you gonna play in college?
Man, you know what's so funny going into that? I wasn't even being recruited by UAB, man. I had offers letters was coming in from Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, Ole Miss. I had big letters and things like that, and it was good. I'd never forget I had went to this Nike camp, and I got a phone call, and they talked to my mom first. This is when Nick Saban first got into Alabama. They was asking me how do I feel about another big-time recruit, Chris Smith, which was Andre Smith's brother. I said, you know, I know he's a big name in Huffman, but I'm a big name over here at Irwin High School trying to do big things. So, I mean, it was good. I was very excited. But I always been a very humble guy because I knew I always wanted to do something big for my family because I knew I never had much. I was a young kid that had 2 shirts and 4 pair of pants, and me and my mama would go school shopping and we would go shoe shopping at Academy Sports. And I'm like, my PE shoes was my high school shoes. You know what I'm saying? So, right. Of course, it had my ups and downs, but I knew where I was going. I knew I was going to be that unique person to do something for my family. But football, well, basically athletics was my way out.
How did you end up at UAB considering they were not recruiting you at the time?
So after I got finished in 2006, I took some time off. I hated this world. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was very depressed and suicidal. Took a whole year to myself to just figure out who Tim was. I remember just getting in the mirror, just saying, who are you? And I just started saying, you're going to do great things. Just believe. And I started just trying to just go to church. I didn't really want to just go to a church because everybody, let me lay my hands on you and heal you. I got tired of that happening to me. Every time I met somebody, they wanted to lay hands on me. So I just really wanted to just figure out who Tim was. So I went to Wallace State Community College, way in Coleman, and I'm in the middle of nowhere. If I walked out of my dorm, you would see barns. You would see cows and everything. And so I graduated from there in 2010. Graduated from Wallace State 2010, worked at Allstate. I never forget I was working at Allstate, and I always been a man of prayer, just praying over my life. And I was outside praying over this waterfall, just praying. And I just heard God say, hey, man, it's time for you to go back to school, get some other young people on fire to show them what faith is. You going to UAB. And I'm like, man, I don't want to go to UAB. So I went back to work, started doing my application at Allstate, and I started telling my team members, hey, y'all, I'm going to leave and go to UAB and play football. Well, I wrote a letter to the football coach, Coach Neil Calloway at UAB. The letter got to his office, but he never read it because he resigned. So we get this new coach named Coach McGee. At this point, I'm working at the ticket office in athletics, and Coach McGee, I find out that Coach McGee is having a Christmas dinner. So they say, hey, Tim, the staff is going to a Christmas dinner, and we want you to come and meet the head coach, Coach Garrett McGee. I said, okay, cool. So I'm excited, man. I'm on campus. I'm flying. I'm pushing a wheelchair as fast as I can. I'm like, Tim, this your opportunity. You're going to tell them about your dreams. As soon as I went into the green and gold room, Coach McGee is in with his family. I walk up to him, hey, Coach, I'm Timothy Alexander. I had a dream from God. Said I'm going to be one of the greatest tight ends to ever come to UAB and play ball. Coach McGee puts his fork down, and he says, for you to have enough faith like you do, we want you on this team. I want you to go to the training room to see Mike Jones. I leave from the dinner. I walk into the training room. Mike Jones said, hey, you here to play football? I'm thinking, like, is he talking to somebody behind me? He said, I'm talking to you. I said, yes, sir. He says, well, what happened? I told him what happened. He said, do you believe you'll be able to walk again? I said, yes, sir. He said, I don't know how easy it'll be, Tim, but I do believe that you can make it. But if you just do what we tell you, come to treatment and do everything, you can make it. We're going to get all your paperwork and everything signed. I go back and talk with Coach McGee. Coach McGee says, okay, I want you to be at practice the next morning at 5 a.m. for team run. We get out there at 5 a.m. Everybody's out there in Nike. I'm out there in Adidas, coffee stained sweatpants on that they gave me from this old storage house. I'm just happy to be a part of the team. Coach McGee says, skill guys on the line. I take the brakes off the wheelchair. I get out there on the line. He blows the whistle. I start pushing the wheelchair around the track with the guys, and I finish a complete workout. At the end of practice, Coach McGee calls me into his office. He says, man, the type of heart that you have, the type of passion you have, I've never seen anything like this. He said, I want to welcome you to UAB football, and I became the first paraplegic to ever get a scholarship playing football here at UAB.
Bro, thank you. Oh, my goodness. I'm happy he said that, BG, because I wanted to make certain that our audience, because this is a podcast, and I wanted to make certain our audience knew that you were in a wheelchair, and that when we spoke about 2006, you were paralyzed from the neck down. I wanted to make certain our audience capture that. Sorry,
that's powerful, man, because you got all of these people in coordination, like seeing your vision and seeing your faith in you just making that step. That is powerful.
I'm going to use this word, but I use it endearing. But for you to even have the audacity to get at the line when he says skill guys speaks a lot about your character. Go ahead, BG.
I heard you say that in the beginning. You were going back and you wanted to, get young people excited about God and get in tune to their spirit. What was your support like at this period of time with you transitioning in your life this way?
Man, my support actually, it came from my family, but my support factor really came from my spiritual counselor, which was my bishop. I didn't really know this man. I just heard him preaching at New Birth, Birmingham, Bishop Davis, and I went up to him after church, and I was like, look, man, my mom has had me in church ever since I was a little kid. I'm like, I'm not perfect. I really don't do religion. I do relationship. If I'm going to pray to God, I'm going to pray. If I'm going to read my Bible, I'm going to read it, but I know I'm not perfect. And I went up to him and I said, I want to be a son. I said, I want to be your son. I said, because people need to know that if you can just, be all in, and focus out of relationship instead of religion, you know, God can use any of that. And he looked at me and he said, Tim, he said, man, what you're going through is not for you. He said, as soon as you can get out of your situation, you can go run back and get other people out of their situation. You will always be a hero. And when he told me that, I said, okay. I said, I knew that me being in a wheelchair is not really for me, because what can you tell a man who's flatlined in the hospital and came back to life? What can you tell a man who went from 195 pounds to 105? What can you tell a man who said, well, we don't know what medication to give this young man. We just going to get his stretcher outside and have him sit and vitamin D. You know, what can you tell a man who had to sleep in all white sheets because if diaphragm sheets from his bed would have got into his body, it would have killed him. So I knew I done already been at my lowest point, so not too many people can really tell me something. I got to use my life as an example of faith, as an example of saying, if you can believe it, all things are possible. So what I did was I just put myself on the line. So it was easy for me to get out there and get on that line when everybody was watching. It's easy for me to go to class when it rains or be out there when it's storming and I'm not driving and you just see a guy pushing in a wheelchair on the sidewalk, going to class saying, hey, I'm here, my homework wet, but I did it. You know, I didn't too much care about that because I said, you know what, I got an opportunity, man, to be a hero. And the only thing that really kept me is because in my car wreck, yes, I was upset, but I knew I did the right thing. I knew at the age of 17 years old that because I knew I was going to college, I knew I was going to the NFL, I was already ready to say I can retire my life right now because I've already accomplished it. I just had to show up in it. So that's why I really risked my life for that, baby. But that's why I did what I did, because I hate seeing people stuck. I hate people saying stuck in the mud. They saying I can't do this, I can't do that. And I'm like, man, why are you doing that? You know, I didn't know how to read. I didn't know how to write. I'm at UAB, bro. I'm at UAB, and it took me 4 times to pass Math 098. 4 times. It took me 4 times to pass 098, and I passed it the last time right before I graduated, December 14, 2014. I made a D, and I was so excited. My mom said, what you made on math? I said, Mom, I made a D. I did great because I understood that my degree ain't going to have my grades on it. I was able to accomplish something and to show people, man, that your life, your journey that you go through in life is your legacy, and people just need somebody's life to read. So I said, if somebody's looking for some hope, if somebody's looking for some aspiration, if somebody's looking for some uplift, well, here, use my life, because I go through stuff each and every day.
You had aspirations of playing in the NFL. How did the accident affect your family? Was there a lot of people counting on you as their backup plan, as being a top recruit? Did you experience that at all?
Yes, sir, I did. It kind of hurt my uncle. My uncle was very close to me. It hurt him a lot. It hurt my mom. But one thing I would say is that when I was down, my mom kind of guarded me. She didn't let a lot of people coming in feeling sad about everything. She didn't let people do that because I knew when I had my car wreck, I felt like I let a lot of people down. I felt like I let a lot of people down because I was going to be a way to help everybody else out, man. So, of course, it did hurt me. It played a lot of toll on my family. But my family just kind of got it together and said, life going to continue to go on. Because 2006 was a rough year. Look at my mom. My mom saw her best friend pass in 2006. My mom saw her house burn down in 2006. My mom saw her middle child die in 2006. Now she done seen her baby boy in a very bad car wreck. So 2006 was a very bad year, but they wasn't too much focusing on what he was going to be your way out. My mom was a very strong woman. She always prayed for us day in and day out. So, of course, our family did have ups and downs, but the real family, the immediate family, we held it together, and we kept it going.
So you are a scholarship football player. And you were truly committed to, like, you were doing everything that all other players were doing, basically, as far as your workouts and preparation and all of that. Talk a little bit about that, and then were there any moments to where you were second guessing your decision to be at UAB?
So when I got on the team, Coach would always check roster. And my name was never on the roster. And he would say, who named it I didn't call? I said, you didn't call Timothy Alexander, Coach. When we would have meal checks, my name wouldn't be on there. I would make them sign on the meal check. I would get weighed in. I would watch my food. I was the tight end, so they wanted me to be at a certain weight. I had to go to therapy. So I always took mental reps at practice. So when we would be in team meetings, my coach would say, Tim, what you got? You know, so I would have to draw plays up on the board and let them know what I had. But while the guys would be running up and down the field, I would be on the sideline doing push-ups and sit-ups, doing my therapy. And so when guys would start getting hurt, I would tell Coach, hey, Coach, can we do an injury workout? You know, the guys that are injured, they don't need to just be standing around, because I'm not standing around. I'm on the sidelines grinding. They need to be grinding too. So what we started doing was, if it was a guy that ever was hurt, they would have to come out there and work out with me. And we just did that the whole practice. And, you know, it started having its ups and downs when we would start having away games and everything. And Coach would be like, Tim, you can come, but you may not be able to fly and this and that. And, you know, I started getting a little down about that. But then again, I started coming to myself saying, man, you on a team. Your name on the back of a jersey. You know, you got a locker. People can look you up and know that you played football for UAB, University of Alabama at Birmingham. Are you going to be upset because you can't fly? So I got that behind me, man, and I just made myself known. And I never forget, we was at Legion Field. This is when Coach Clark came in 2014. I was nervous. I'm like, man, he finna come in here and clean house. So I got with all the seniors, and I said, y'all are my family. I want to be here. I don't know if Coach Clark is going to keep me on the team. We got to do something. My teammates was like, man, we got you. So the team, we held a meeting with Coach Clark, and we was like, Tim is our guy. Tim is going to be on this team. We want him on the team. Number 87 is his. You know, we want this. And Coach bought into us and kept me on the team. And we was at Legion Field one day, and all the guys was running up and down Legion Field. And I went over to this gate, and I stood up on the gate, and I tried to stand up and start doing what they call gate push-ups, where you put your hand on top of the gate and you just pull yourself up and try to do push-ups. Our strength and conditioning coach, Coach Woodfin, came up to me, and he said, do you want to go up to the top? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, get on my back. I said, Coach, I'm 6'6". How am I going to get on your back? He said, get on my back. Coach Woodfin put me on his back, did the firearms carry, and he walked me up Legion Field step by step by step by step. The wheelchair wasn't at the top of Legion Field. When we got up there, he said, where's the wheelchair? My teammate said, don't worry about it. We'll stand them up. And we're standing up there at the top of Legion Field. We got our arms in the air like Rocky Balboa when he made it all the way up to the top of the stairs on that scene in Philadelphia where the statue was. And we looked over the city, and we said, this is our city. And that's when the day Timothy Alexander's story became to come in effect, man, from that moment.
Hey, Tim, I know the boys was mad at you, though, with you being the injury workout guy.
Right.
You started that.
Oh, man, they hated it.
You wrong. You wrong for that, Tim.
They hate, and you know what? Still to this day, the guys, when they get injured, they don't want to come work out with me, man.
I bet they don't.
No pity.
No doubt. So Tim, you eventually went from being a player to being the character excellence coach. What's the character excellence coach? Can you explain to our audience what that means and the role that you currently hold with UAB football?
Even before our program was shut down in 2014, I wanted to retire my jersey and just get into player development because I knew what it took. I knew what it took just looking at these guys saying, these guys are on the field, but they're physically lost. You know, when they get done playing 4 years, they don't know what they want to do. They don't know what they want to do afterwards. They just want to, I'm going to keep training for the NFL. I'm going to train for the Canadian Football League. And these guys get around to being 28, 29, and they still don't know what they want to do. So I start asking the guys, well, man, when football is done, what do you want to do? I don't know, Tim. I don't know. So I talked to Coach, and I said, Coach, you need to put me over character development. And he said, character development? I said, yes, sir, because I said talent can take you anywhere in this world, but your character will keep you there. And so I said, okay, let's change it from character development. Let's change it to character excellence 365. Well, we focus on character, being excellence in character each and every day. So today my speech to them was a mindset mentality of being great. You know, letting them know that when you on this field, you can't have anything on your mind. So I read their body language at practice, like when the quarterback is throwing picks, everybody may say, well, he suck. He throwing picks. No, he don't suck. He got something going on with his family. He thinking about the plays. It's so much going on, and he trying to do that and do something else the way he can't function. So what I do with the guys, I'm the director of character excellence. I get these guys out in the community doing community service. We got our two huge charity organizations, our Children's Harbor and Big Brother, Big Sister. And we just get these guys out. We teach them how to talk. We teach them how to shake a man's hand and look them in the eye. We teach them, food etiquette. We teach them how to carry yourself as an adult. But one thing we do, we focus on being the full athlete. We focus on being a full athlete because you can be this star athlete today and you can be a bust tomorrow. But when you become a bust, what are you going to do to take care of your family? What are you going to do to take care of yourself? Just as what you talked about, football is taught preparation. It teaches us so many life essentials. How can we take what we've learned in football and walk them out? And that's what we do through character excellence.
Character excellence. Bruh needs some character excellence.
He's Mississippi College.
That's what I wanted.
Mississippi Community College needs some of that too.
They need some character excellence. I want to talk about, you make a good point, PG. This was going to be my first question out of the gate, but we kind of got derailed and got into some serious conversation. But I watched Last Chance U. I watched it. I'm an Auburn grad, Sigma Delta chapter. I was watching J5, but I learned about a guy by the name of DJ Law.
Yes,
all
sir.
Our Last Chance U folks want to know. Myself, co-host of D1 Sports Talk, want to know, where is DJ Law? Has he signed? Obviously he hasn't signed the paperwork yet. Seems like he's still trying to figure some things out. When will DJ Law join the UAB Blazers?
Man, awesome thing. I got an opportunity to meet DJ Law, and we just had this same conversation. Of course, DJ Law has high interest in UAB, and UAB has high interest in DJ Law. Right now, we're just trying to get all his paperwork and his school credits and everything, because one thing about UAB, they believe in excellence, academic all around, So, of course, he is got the stars by him. He is UAB's guy, but we just wait. I believe he may be here at UAB by the end of the month. He just got to take care of his schoolwork and get his schoolwork and everything in. But my DJ Law is our guy.
When the last time you talked to DJ Law?
I haven't. Me personally haven't. I haven't talked to DJ Law. I've like everybody else, seen him on Netflix and everything. But our running back coach talks to him all the time. So they just trying to get everything situated with, compliance with just knowing what he got to do with getting all his paperwork in on the academic side. And once all that takes place, then we'll be saying welcome to the UAB family, DJ Law.
BG, I can't remember the coach, but they had a coach from UAB on Last Chance U. I can't remember the coach name or what was it. He was in the office talking to Miss Wagner.
I can't remember who it was either.
He was on. I got one more question. I'll be done with DJ Law, Last Chance U. With you being with Tim, would you being the UAB character excellence coach? You saw Last Chance U.
Right.
DJ Law threw that punch in the last game. What type of character excellence will you be sharing with DJ Law?
I'll just be sharing with him, man. I seen that blow. And, a lot of these kids, they act out of anger, man. They act out of anger, that passion comes out. But we'll just be talking to him about when you on a platform like that, when all eyes on you, you got to control the way you feel. Because when you let your feelings control you, you will go out there and do anything. So what we got to understand is just saying, DJ, you control your feelings. You control the way you feel. don't let the way you feel control you. Because when you out there just operating in your feelings, you a mouth off and do anything, and as we saw, you a swing. So we gonna teach him, yeah, you may have swung and you think you got the best of this person. Now you gotta pay, you gotta do what you gotta do based off what you've done. But if you can control your feelings, if you can control your anger and react a different way, then everything will be well for you. And that's what I'm just talking to him about, controlling your feelings. Don't let your feelings control you. You control them, because I get upset sometimes. I used to get upset all the time when people would say, well, how you play football? You in a wheelchair. Well, just saying all this rude stuff, and I used to mouth off at them. But you know what? Be slow to speak, quick to listen. I just sit there and look at them like they retarded or something, man. And by the way I look at them, they may get it and be like, man, this guy's no joke. But I've also told people, don't let my circumstance play you thinking that I can't do anything. So I would just let him know that you a great athlete, you a world changer, man. But what you got to understand is that you can't let your feelings control you. You got to control your feelings.
And DJ Law also, not only did he throw that punt, which I understood where he was coming from, but he also, BG, he didn't want to go to class.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Wagner had a hard time getting him in class. Now, Tim, what you gonna say about encouraging him to take class serious, because he didn't want to go to class on the show now? That is a fact. She had to beg him to go. That's why y'all still waiting on him to sign the letter today. Right.
I mean, he gonna have to go to class at UAB. We check class. He gonna have to go to class at UAB. That's a no given, because one thing about UAB, when you get here, you're gonna graduate, you're gonna go to class, and you're gonna go to study hall.
Just looking at the evolution and what a lot of the players, high school players going into college, what they're coming with, a lot of them have been the man in their hometown. They've been given a lot of stuff, and so they're coming in with this sense of entitlement, and to come into a structure where you really have to, put it on the line. You got to humble yourself. You got to do all of these things. It's important to have someone like you that can connect with them first and foremost. Like you have experience, you have a resume that backs it up, and you have a way of communicating with. So it's going to be extremely important. And this is a unique season for UAB, being that they've returned. They're actually not going to be participating in the traditional sense in 2016. Is that correct?
Right. That's correct. We don't touch the field until 2017. So football starts this year, September 3rd. I believe it kicks off for us 2017. September 2nd, we'll be playing A&M at Legion Field. Hashtag the return, man. It's gonna be good.
But I did read where Coach Clark is implementing something to pretty much, for the most part, simulate a real season for 2016.
We have a scrimmage August 29th. We have a scrimmage August 20th for homecoming, and we also have a scrimmage in November. And so once that's done, December will be here, and we back to football, because that's when the spring starts.
Oh, so you guys are not playing games this year?
Oh man, we not.
Oh, I didn't know that. So DJ Law DJ, with him transferring to UAB, he's not missing anything this upcoming season. You really are trying to get him prepared for 2017, where he can tote the rock.
Correct.
Oh.
So what he'll do when he'll be here, he just focus on his academics and everything.
Oh, BG, you just schooled me. Schooled me, BG.
But they working though. Like they've got a schedule. They've got it mapped out to keep everybody in that football frame of mind.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Because I listen to Coach Clark on when he's on the Jocks with Tone the Bone, Del Greco, and Jay Barker.
Right.
I imagine that even with that, the players are excited about that opportunity to be able to put on that UAB Blazer uniform. They're excited.
And the guys, we just swapped over to Under Armour, and we told the guys, guys can go anywhere in this world and be a part of history. But as the words that Gene Bartow spoke, at UAB, you can make history. It was a time at UAB we had 7 guys get drafted to the league. When Coach Clark was here in 2014, we had 4 guys to get drafted. So I mean, they come. You know, people seeing our practice.
Way up, all-star kick returner, way up.
Way up. JJ Nelson, Kennard Backman, Daheem, Ty Long.
BC Reigns on, Eddie Vashon Freeman.
Yep. So I mean, we got them here. It's just everybody's excited. Everybody's excited about making history at UAB, man. On the 29th, we got our breaking ground ceremony. We got a new facility coming. So everything is up for UAB, man.
You participated in SEC Media Day. I found out about you from your interview from your participation at SEC Media Day. Can you kind of talk about that?
I just went there and spoke on SEC Media Day. I spoke to all the schools that was at the SEC, and everything like that went well. I was just able to speak, and some great things happened. So it went well for that. I was able to just see how they do it in the SEC conference and everything, just to see how the business works and everything. But it went well.
A lot has gone on, Tim. I've said in the last year for you. You graduate. You got your master's degree. Is that correct? Got a master's degree?
Yeah, I got my master's degree in communication management, and I'm getting ready to graduate next week from the John Maxwell Leadership Training in Orlando. So I got that coming up next week.
And then you had a video to go viral on social media outlets, because that actually came across my timeline a couple of weeks ago.
So what I have is I was able to stand up for the first time in 10 years about 2 weeks ago, man. On Monday, it's been a decade. You know, I've been through a lot, man. Like I said, from not being able to read and write, going from a 5% chance to them telling me never, going from, not having any therapy to just coming out here doing push-ups and sit-ups, doing everything, what the trainers asked me to do, to just going for it. And the thing about that story was, man, I had tried to stand up that Friday. The Friday before it happened, I tried to stand up. That happened on the 28th, so I believe that happened on the 26th when we tried that Friday. We tried to stand up, but it did not work. And my therapist and everybody was down, and I told them, hey, don't be upset that I wasn't able to stand. We win at the end of the day because we tried. As long as I know we tried it, I'm okay with it. We win. But Monday, man, I was able to stand up. I was only able to stand up for about 3 to 5 seconds. And that's why when you look in that video, you will see where I almost fell on my therapist, man. So I was able to stand. And from there, the next day, I was able to stand a little bit longer. I was able to move my legs. And so just believing and just never giving up, man, it's doing a lot of great things in my life. And people said, how does a man stay consistent for 10 years later? In all honesty, man, and this is the only answer that I can give. I'm scared to give up. I'm scared to give up, because if I give up, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know when I'm going to be able to walk. I don't know when I'm going to be able to run. When I got to UAB in 2010, people would say, when you going to be walking? I would say next year. When next year came, when you going to be walking? I say next year. So I don't know when that time's come. I just know I'm ready. That's why I work out, I train, I eat right. So when that day come, if I wake up and got my legs, like I told everybody, I'm going to outrun Forrest. But I do know in 2017, I'm walking out of that tunnel. I won't be in a wheelchair. I'm walking or running out that tunnel in 2017.
What I'm talking about.
And I believe it. And I believe it, and it's going to happen. I knew you was going to bring the fire, Tim. And so I'm just excited to have you on the show. Shout out to the KD bros. Shout out to Big Swole. Big Swole.
Yes, I love Big Swole.
That's my ace, man. I lived in Houston for a number of years. Big Swole, Joe, all them guys were my guys, man. So shout out to KD. Jesse. Shout out to Jesse.
Yep. Oh, Jesse Owen. But one of the things is my DP Terrell, man. I'm not gonna even lie to you. The bros, I love the bros. People can say what they want to say about the bros, but the bros, they just really dotted my I and crossed the T. So I didn't set out a hop at church, one time. I just be so excited. You just, that the bros just give you that. they just give you something to just say, you know what, man, forget it. You got to go out there and be a man. And that just pushes me the way I think, the way I act. And I tell the bros all the time, I'm happy. I remember I used to see the bros just hop and just be out all the time. And I would just be sitting there smiling. And even still to this day, I tell the bros, you know, thank you for letting me in. And that's why, you know, I hop. That's why I sing. That's why, you know, my name is Blowout. I'd have been hopping and marching and have flipped out of the chair, but still kept it going. I mean, it's just the things that you got to go through, man. So I'm very excited to be a part of what I call one of the greatest frats in the world.
In the whole wide world. It's essential, man. Essential to your soul, full of enthusiasm.
Rue?
Yes, I got something for you. Tell me what this means to you. Power Wing Right 27 GS.
Power Wing Right 27 GS, man. That's one of my – how you know about that?
Hey, man, this is what I do.
This is what we do.
Hey,
That's what we do.
That's one of my plays. That's one of the plays that I don't know if you see in the gridiron game, but what happens is the tight end pulls from the right side all the way to the left, going to the end, creating a hole for the running back, and you get to knock out everybody who comes trying to get the quarterback. That's one of my favorite plays in high school. Power Wing Right 27 GS that Coach Hall used to call just for me.
BG. That was Hall of Fame right there. BG.
Yeah, and he's still doing it. He's still doing it in day-to-day life. He's still clearing that path, man.
Still clearing that path, man. Let's get up out of here. Tim,
let's do it.
How can the people reach you? Appreciate you a lot for joining the show. You authentic, you genuine, you real, man. So thank you. How can the people reach you?
No problem. Man, they can reach me on my Instagram. If you just type in Timothy Alexander, it's Kingdom_Citizen, or if you want to email me, Timothy87Alexander@gmail.com. And my Facebook is Timothy Alexander, man. So please reach out to me. I'm on Snapchat. It's Kingdom_Citizen too. So as they say, he who has ears, let them hear, man. And thank y'all so much for this free lunch podcast, and I've really enjoyed it.
Hey Tim, you still got your truck? You finna drive home?
Oh no, man. Actually, I'm out here. Y'all, Coach Clark just walked up to me and gave me the thumbs up. I'm out here on the field. We finna get ready and go through a walkthrough at 8 o'clock from 8 to 9. So I'm out here on the field finna yell at these guys.
Shout out to the Blazers. It's real over there. It's real.
Two-a-day, Terry Clark. We support the UAB Blazers, and we love to have him on. And tell him we'd love to have him on D1 Sports Talk podcast.
Okay, I would definitely do that. What I do is I would shoot y'all his assistant's email, and then we'll take it from there.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
Ain't no thing. Rude to the bros, and thank y'all a lot.
Rude.
Have a good practice.
Blow out. Be out. Rude. BG.
Man, what? It's real over there in Birmingham.
It's real over there.
You can't tell them they got to wait to 2017. They go.
They not playing, BG. They not playing, BG.
They going for round 2 at 8 o'clock.
He just gave him the thumbs up. I didn't know that. BG, you schooled me. I thought that they were lacing it up this year, so they not lacing it up this year.
Nah, they not lacing it up. Then that's the whole thing, man. They've been kind of playing and operating as if they're going out this year, but nah, they'll be firing it back up in 2017 next season.
Oh, okay. So they're not missing though with not having DJ Law.
He missing that, he missing that preparation and getting ready with the guys. So he need to get there as soon as he can. But if he don't get there,
I had to get them. We had to get them last chance. You questions?
Man, at first, I didn't. Y'all was talking about last chance. I didn't know what y'all was talking about, and I ended up having to watch it. Well, they rough down there.
I had to get that last chance.
Man, I don't know what that is. That made me look at this thing a whole different way.
That's a game. They got game football in the state of Mississippi. They got game football team.
That's all they doing. Playing football and fighting. They ain't nobody care about school. They ain't going to no class.
The water boy had to get stitches before the game.
Ridiculous. The referee done hit the coach with the clipboard. They done jumped on the trainer. He got hit in the eye.
BG, he backed up. He backed the referee. the referee backed up on him and put his dukes up on like he was in high school at the fight.
And Donald Trump done messed everybody up. Trump got everybody acting crazy.
Shout out to Big Swole, big time supporter, D1, big time supporter of what we doing. So shout out to Big Swole and to his ALB Jester. So let's get up out of here, BG.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
How can the people reach us, BG?
Bro, we are the Free Lunch Podcast, a member of the New South Movement Podcast Network. Thanks for us. We're available on iTunes and SoundCloud. Search New South Movement and you'll find us. We're also freelunchpodcast.com. We're on Twitter, Free Lunch Pod C, and on Instagram, Free Lunch Podcast, and on YouTube, New South Movement TV. That's where you can find us, Free Lunch, the Retro Scope Podcast, D1 Sports Talk Podcast. You better check for it because football season's here. Them boys going to heat it up. And the Girl Talk Podcast. Check for it. Tell a friend, tell a friend.
That joker said, Cole Clark came through and said, thumbs up.
We about to have a walk.
They about to have a walk.
Shout out to the Blazers, man. Real
Shout out to the Blazers, man. Shout out to Tim. Appreciate you joining the show. So this is Free Lunch Podcast, member of the New South Movement Network. This is your boy Type and the main man,
BG the 2 7 kids. And we out.